something you'll see very often. So even if you're using it, not necessarily for barbecues, but for other dishes as well, and you want to create something different, then this is a good way to start, okay? They do a variety of other products. If you're like me, I very rarely cook. So when I do cook, I want to be able to do it in 5 minutes or so, okay? Things like garlic rubs, absolutely brilliant. Just rub it into the top of your meat. Can be beef, can be lamb, can be chicken, can be whatever you want it to be. Just rub it into the top, and you can either pop it under the grill or stick it in a frying pan. Delicious, all right? And it takes 5 minutes, so it's great. They do, what do we want to know? The relish, garlic relish, again, very good to have with dishes, side accompaniment or anything like that. And then we get on to oatcakes, all right? Again, the oatcakes are made locally to the recipe that the Really Garlicky company use, all right? And there's a variety of other things there as well, like steak splashes and so on.
Right, it's great to be able to talk about another company up here on the Moray coast that's been successful. They really have gone national on the Really Garlicky stuff. Now, what Dominic's doing now is loading up the kebab sticks with the lamb and the mushrooms and onion and green pepper, and we'll be putting those on the barbecue to cook. Now, just for a quick resume on the ingredients, this one's going to be serving 4 people. A kilo of diced shoulder of lamb, which has been marinated. I'll give you the recipe for the marinade in a second. Red onions cut into wedges, green peppers, bamboo skewers, and button mushrooms. Okay? For the marinade. And marinade is really one of the most important things here, and very underestimated, the power of what marinade does to the lamb or to beef or chicken. A lemon, again, grated and zested with the juice extracted. A lime, zest grated and juice extracted. Glass of white wine. Tablespoonful of virgin olive oil. A bulb from the Really Garlicky company. Crushed. Tablespoonful of crushed coriander. Some peppercorn seeds. Some fennel seeds crushed. Some fresh thyme and a sprig of fresh rosemary. Now mix all those together in a bowl. Doesn't take very long. And again, we've marinated this for 12 hours. Okay? So, again, comes in with the planning. Must plan first. When this is cooked, it's good to make a couscous or something like that, another rocket salad, potato salad, things like that. So you're ready to serve it to your family and friends. I think we'll move now on to get the rump steaks cooking as well. The marinated rump will be the next thing. Okay, we're now going to the marinated rump. And what I'd like to show you first, while Jock's going to explain, is look at that beef. Yeah?
Okay. This is a bit of rump beef off our own cattle, which are reared just up the hill there, a place called Dallas, okay, if you're not familiar with the area. There we rear a mixture of cattle. We have a pure Highland herd, okay, so picture postcard cows, okay, fluffy things with horns, great. We also have the shorthorn, which we cross with them, okay, that just provides a bit more shape to the animal and gives it a bit more flavour. We then cross it again with the Aberdeen Angus, okay? World famous breed, and rightly so. Extremely popular both here and abroad, but we use it just to bulk up the animals a little bit so that they're ready just a little bit sooner so that we can hang it on the bone, all right? Hanging is extremely important, all right? Most of the beef that we hang is hung on the bone for 30 days, 21 days, sorry. The reason for that is it allows the flavour to infuse into the beef. Now, unfortunately, with current rules and regulations, any beef that's killed over 30 months, we have to wet mature, so it's matured in a bag. We can't do it on the bone. Against that, the older beef tends to be a lot nicer, tends to be a bit fuller of flavour and a bit more marbled. And marbling is slight lines of fat that you can see through the beef, and that's extremely important. If you go into a butcher's shop and you're looking at, say, a sirloin steak, and it's just red, then it's probably going to be quite tough and not very flavourful. Flavourful, is that a word?
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do, flavoursome. All right, let's go with that. If you see little lines of white running through it, sort of like a grainy sort of stuff, that's the fat running through it. And as you cook it, that fat will infuse into the beef, and you'll get a much, much better flavour, and it will be a lot more tender. Okay? So you won't need steak knives where you're sawing away at it. You won't need to batter it with a hammer before you try and cook it. All right? Just go straight into a frying pan and be delicious.
Right, we've now got Dominic chopping up the garlic from the Really Garlicky company, and it's smoked garlic again for the marinade on the rump. And we're popping it into the bowl, steak in the bottom. You noticed it was a big hunky piece of rump, you know, not one of those wee ones that you may be used to. The big piece of meat, and all will be revealed later on why that works so much better. This is smoked paprika that's been popped in. As such, we're not able to do that in Moray yet, make smoked paprika, but still we need to bring a little bit in from outside. And now we're going to use some of Isabella's mustard.
Success story, where it is now in a bigger unit, but still handmade using traditional recipes. The ones that we're using today, which flavour mustard are we using? They're mango, okay? Mango flavour mustard here, okay? Very good, and you know, it can be used for a lot of marinades, not just this one. So things like that just give you something slightly different from what you normally get out of the cookbook.
Right, that was Dominic just putting the black pepper in, and now the sort of ceremonial part is putting the Benromach 21-year-old in. Quite liberally, I have to tell you. A bit too liberal for my liking, I think, but I'm sure the government they'll be very happy for us to be using it so liberally. And now some olive oil. And that's it. Now we will leave that for 12 hours, so come back in 12 hours time and we'll, but because this is blue pita, we've got one that we prepared earlier, and we'll now, Dominic will now pop that onto the barbecue.
Oh, that's nice.
Look at the size of that. That's what a steak should look like when you're putting it on the barbecue. Okay? It's got to be a decent size. Yeah? And you know, it's less effort if you use a bigger one, because we'll just slice it and you share it between you. Now, some of us, we might, my size, we might not want to share it, but it's nicer thing if you do share it. So that's going to be cooking away probably, I'm afraid, 15 minutes maybe. So we'll have to be a little bit patient there.
If you're standing downwind of it, you're getting a really good smell at the moment. All right. Anybody driving later might want to think twice.
Using whiskey with food is not always, how do I say this politically correctly? It's not always obvious. But if you use it correctly, it can really, really inspire and lift food to give you a different experience. And marinating with it, I highly recommend.
You must be ready.
You do it.
What?
Take my place.
Okay.
Take my place.
Derek, ik val over, but